Let's put together your success action plan. Welcome to Strong for Life Live. This is Coach Josh Wood. I'm down in Hobart, Tasmania. It is a beautiful sunny day. Crisp, cool breeze, sun high in the sky. Gotta love that early spring weather. So, folks, if you're not starting this conversation or joining this conversation in the Become Strong for Life Facebook group, I highly recommend you come and join us. This is where I get the inspiration for the podcast. This is where we have conversations about how you can get strong for life. That's kind of the whole point. This is the podcast about getting you strong for life. And my focus and the people I work most with are parents and professionals because they are so time constricted. I get them. They're my people. And the goal is to help those busy parents and professionals get strong for life. But hey, everyone can come along for the ride. Now, let's dig into some announcements first. It is the 5th of September, 2 in the afternoon. And what do we got going on? So, the Lean for Life 2023 Weight Loss Challenge wrapped up about a week ago. We gave out the prizes. If you were following along, interested in seeing how that turned out, do check out the results either on my Instagram, Coach Josh Wood, or the coaching page, Strong for Life Online Coaching, both on Instagram or Facebook, to see how our winners did. And for an 8-week challenge, they did phenomenally. It's just awesome to see what you can do in 8 weeks. And that's kind of what I want to look at today as well. But one more announcement. If you are in Hobart, here in Tasmania, I will be giving a talk, my Eat Like an Adult talk. The talk where I give you the tools to understand your nutrition and some tips and tricks to make sure that that information sticks and you can apply it into your life and eat like an adult to have the life you want. Got to fuel yourself for the life you want. And that's coming up on the 28th of September at the St. Luke's Health Space. So if you are interested, shoot me a message or just head to my Instagram link. There is a place to register. It's a free talk. St. Luke's is offering this for free. So that is a great opportunity to come along, ask questions, and learn everything you may want to know about your nutrition and how it affects your health and how you can actually control it. That's it for announcements. Now, action plan. I want to talk about the steps you need to go through to make sure you actualize your goals. And if you're sitting there going, what goals? That's the first step. The first thing you need to have is a clear vision. One thing I go through with everybody who applies for a coaching spot in our initial interview, I ask, well, what do you want to see for yourself? If we look a year or 2 years or 3 or 5 or 10 years ahead, what does your life look like if you've solved all the problems that you're dealing with now? So the problems like I'm time poor, I don't know what to do with my food, I don't know what to do with my training, I don't know how to use the equipment at the gym, I don't know what equipment to get from my home gym, how much am I supposed to eat, am I eating too much, am I eating too little, all these, more or less standard health and fitness worries that we have. Once we kind of delve into their big questions, my thing is, well, what do you want to see? Who do you want to be? How do you want your life to be different from now if we project into the future? And we build this clear vision of what you want to see. And that's very much related to goals, but it's really, really helpful to actually look at it, to envision a difference in your life. What is going to be different for you? And so building that clear vision, okay, I want to fit my shirts better. I want to be broader through the shoulders. I want to be able to lift a certain weight. I want to be able to do push-ups. And then when we have this vision, this understanding of where you want to get to, you can set lots of little goals along the way because that's sort of a goal in itself. But let's talk about the vision aspect, looking at it. How are you going to look different? How are you going to perform different? How are you going to look at yourself differently? Like, what do you envision for your future if you solve your problems or you let me and my team do that? Then we go, okay, why? Why do you want that? Why do you see that? This is something that's been coming up a lot in conversations with folks on Instagram, mostly because that's mostly where I hang out. But this big understanding of why, and I've talked about this before, and I'm going to always talk about this because once you have a clear vision, an understanding of where you want to be, think of it as the endpoint on your map. It's not really an endpoint, but for now, let's just call it the endpoint on the map. Why do you want to get there? If you don't understand why deeply, why, you have no reason to go there. You have no reason to take that journey. So you need to take that vision and then figure out why. Let's start small. Let's say I want to be able to do 10 push-ups. I get a lot of folks coming in that really want to be able to do that. It's like, okay, so let's say a year from now, you've gone from not being able to do one push-up from your knees, and you want to be able to do 10 in a row. All right, so why is that important to you? And then you think, why is that? Well, because I want to. No, not just because you want to. How does your life change by accomplishing that? And a lot of people attach an action or a weight or a dress size to a sense of value or a sense of this will make me better. But it's deeper than that. Why do you want to do 10 push-ups? Because I want to feel strong. That is a metric that I can measure. It's a thing I can write down on paper, I can record. It's a thing that is concrete. And when I get there, I will feel strong. I want to feel strong. Why do you want to feel strong? Because now I feel weak. Now I feel out of control. I have no power in my life. I want to feel like I can take control of some aspect of my life. Or I want to feel like I am more useful to the people around me. I want to set an example for my children. I want to feel like I've accomplished something. Okay, well, what's the reason behind that? And it's usually there's a fear, there's a pain. And so understanding what it is that you're trying to change, correct, or improve, it's not about push-ups. It's about feeling accomplished. It's about feeling like you have control over your life. That is the why, the deep thing. If you're working in the public domain, I get lots of guys who want to have a broader shoulder girdle, big shoulders, thick chest. It's like, well, why? Because I think that'll make me look good. Yeah, but that's why. Because I want to be more imposing, or I want to have a greater presence in front of people. I physically want to take up more space in an impressive way so that I have a better, stronger presence when doing my public facing job, speaking on stage, performing, whatever it is. It's like, okay. And that immediately adds value to your life when you do the thing you love or the thing you do professionally better. So we have to get that vision. We have to then delve into why that's important to you. And sometimes getting into that deep why is hard and daunting and unnecessary. There, I said it. It might not be necessary for you to then reach your goals. You might ultimately have to find that through time and effort. You might not be able to do that right now. The deeper you dig into that, the deeper you dig into your why. The deeper you dig into your why. And the better you understand it, the easier it is for you to leverage that and find your success. They say, me, others, people say, that when you have a strong why, the how is easy. So in developing our action plan, you first figure out what you envision. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And then the deeper the why, the more powerful the why, the easier it is for you to sort out the how. Maybe that's as simple as, I want to be a better example for my children because they will then have better lives. And as a parent, that's probably the most important thing to us. That's a very strong why, very motivating why. That's the kind of why that keeps you on track. But you can only be on track if you have a plan, if you have a map. So we envision the end destination, supposed end. It never really ends. We figure out why we're going there. And then if we have a good reason, or good enough reason to go, well, how is easy. We follow the directions. Whether we go out and research and develop our own plan, our own step-by-step guide, or we outsource that to a coach maybe, following that plan then becomes easier because it's a deep part of you that's driving that journey. So we have vision, we have why, and then we have the how. And now the how is the development of the plan that you actually have to follow, but you need that motivation, you need that end goal in mind. Now this is where people get overwhelmed because they think that you have to do so much. And this is why I harp on and on about TNT. It's those tiny, noticeable things you do each day. People think you have to do so much crazy shit to lose a few kilos, to get bigger biceps, to do your push-ups. You don't. You know, people are like, oh, I gotta go to the gym, and then I have to not eat sugar ever again, and then I have to intermittent fast, and I gotta go do the sauna and the cold plunge. No. Stop. Enough of that noise. You're just coming up with excuses. You just need to implement a little thing each day. So think of this. If any of you are out there listening and you're saying, I just don't have time, I'm going to say bullshit to that. It's nonsense. You have time. We all have time. What needs to change is your priorities. If you're out there saying, I would just love to do some training, to get my food right, to do more steps, and you're saying, but I just don't have the time, show me your social media time spent, and then we'll talk. I call bullshit. There's time. Sometimes the priorities are different, but the time is there. I have to prioritize certain things. I have to prioritize my family. I have to prioritize my business and all the clients that I help to their successes. Those are my priorities. And so right now, preparing for an archery tournament next weekend, I've had to cut into my normal gym training time. I have the time, but I have chosen different priorities. I'm not going to cop out of that. I am training less in the gym because I have chosen to prioritize a competition coming up that is skill-based, and the time in the gym is not going to translate as well into performance. I have a new baby coming in the next couple months. I will prioritize sleep over training. I will prioritize sleep over food. I will prioritize calories over, let's say, quality of nutrition. Because when I am tired and all over the place, I tend to undereat, which is not usually the case for most people. I know that. That's just a weird me thing. When I'm tired and stressed, I tend just to not eat. I get caught up in stuff. I get tunnel vision. So for me, it's like I have to get my calories, otherwise I will waste away. And then I will prioritize protein. And then I'll try and get some workouts in. But mostly it'll probably be steps, getting out and moving in the air. There is time, but I am prioritizing other things. If I prioritized gym, I would have to cut out something else. So we have to choose our priorities. And we don't have to give up everything or revamp our entire life to make massive changes. We just need to understand the power of TNT. Those little, tiny, noticeable things. So, let's look at this. I guarantee you could do 30 minutes extra movement a day. Guarantee it. If you got an argument against that, send it my way. I'll probably tell you it's bullshit. 30 minutes of extra movement a day. Easy way to do that is 10 minutes after each meal. If you eat 3 meals a day, walk for 10 minutes after each. Boom, 30 minutes. 30 minutes a day across a week is 3.5 hours. That's more gym time than 90% of people need. That's more movement than 90% of people get. So if you're like, I want to get jacked, but I don't have all this time, I can't go into the gym for an hour. Okay, do 30 minutes. Do 15 minutes twice a day. Still 3.5 hours of training a week. You could do a lot with that. That's the power of TNT. Tiny noticeable things. Take 30 minutes. You don't have 30 minutes in a row, take 10. Do 5 minutes. Do one exercise 6 times a day. There's a toddler yelling in the background. I'm sure you can hear that. Speaking of priorities, yeah, that's it. That's the secret. It's all about that TNT. So put your action plan together. Write it down. Do a vision board. Record yourself. Make it concrete and real in the real world. Not just an idea that you wish you could do. So create a vision. What do you want to see? If you want to keep it simple and you want to see changes in your body, physique changes, picture what you would like to look like. And then dig into that and figure out why. Really deep why. The more you ask why and why and why, the deeper you go. You might find that that's not actually where you want to be. That's not actually your goal. It's just sort of part of this idea of what you should do. And like I said a couple weeks back, don't let other people's visions affect your goals. Your goals are your goals. Just delve into why. So vision, why. Why is this important to you deeply? That will make it easy to follow the how. And when you're developing the how, use TNT. Tiny noticeable things. If you have a bunch of time in the day, great. Do more. But it's the TNT. The tiny noticeable things that you add up each day that makes a huge difference. And if you could do 30 minutes a day of work, exercise, or focusing on food prep, it's 3.5 hours a week. Give yourself 4 weeks, and that'll just be second nature. And then you could try and cut out another 30 minutes. And then you have 7 hours a week. And this is how you stack habits. So I'll leave you with that. You got to get on the TNT. Vision, why, how, TNT. It all adds up. Now, I do want to shout out to some hardworking clients for the week. We've got a few members of our booty building program that have just been doing awesome work. Haley, Myrna, Sophia. Myrna and Sophia are over in the US, and so time zones are obviously a challenge, but getting in there, dealing with the challenges of life, putting in a good effort. And shout out to Dave, who is doing September, raising money and doing steps and booty building and lifting heavy stones and all the stuff that he normally does. Don't know how he fits it all in, but he gets the work done. So yeah, stay tuned. You might hear more about the challenge he's undertaking this month in the Become Strong for Life Facebook group. If you're not part of the group, join the conversation. Also, if you've made it this far, please leave a review or a question on any of the podcast platforms where you might find this, whether it's Apple, Amazon, or Spotify. I think Google too. Reviews, thoughts, questions, conversation, it's all part of the fun. And until next week, let's just work on those little daily things. We'll see you then.